This is my final year of being a youth legally. After this, I better be taken into the council of elders. This has been the year that I've learned that inherently people are so good. I've also learned that you need people. You need people. When you get to the point where you cannot do some of the things yourself, it's the people that come through for you that will really make a difference. So you need people. Treat people well. God doesn't come and answer your things personally. When the Israelites needed deliverance, God sent Moses. God did not come himself. God has this habit of sending people. And so maybe the reason your prayers have not been answered is because you keep on discarding people as if they don't matter. What's up, everyone? I'm turning 35 years old. Shangwe na vigelegele. I don't take it lightly that I've gotten to this age. This is my final year of being a youth legally. After this, I better be taken into the council of elders. Otherwise, what's up, everyone? How have you been? Today I will do 35 things that I know for sure now that I'm turning 35. And the first is God's timing is perfect even when it doesn't feel like it. There was a time I looked at my life. I started officially working when I was 25. By the time I was a single mother of one and my life was just so upside down, I didn't ever think that it could ever amount to anything. So I got into everything very, very late, and I was like, I don't think I would ever achieve what I thought I would have achieved. I am turning 35 now. Everything that I've ever dreamt of, I have seen. I have seen more than I ever thought I would see in just 10 years. So the first thing, God's timing is perfect. Don't doubt God's timing. The second one is peace is more valuable than proving a point. I can't tell you the number of times I've walked out of spaces just because I could not stand the anxiety that those spaces put me in. I hate the fact that there are certain rooms you get in and you feel anxious. Like you wake up and you feel anxious. And I hate that feeling. Right now, to me, peace is everything. Peace is luxury. Peace is life. Peace is everything. So for me, it doesn't matter what you're trying to prove in your little corner. So long as I'm peaceful, I am going with peace any day. The third lesson is saying no is an act of self-respect and not selfishness. I used to struggle. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I have people pleased my entire life. And when I started learning to just draw boundaries and to say no, it felt like I was selfish. Just random things. I would not feel like I needed to say no. I thought no was not part of what I could say. And so I am learning to say no, and I really love it. It is self-respect. You respect yourself when you say no. 4. Yeah, the fourth one. Growth often feels like loss before it looks like progress. I don't know if there was ever a year that I grew like I grew in the last year. I challenged myself to grow in dimensions that I never thought were possible. I am such a petty person from the inside. I always feel like I want to fight. I'm ready for a good fight. I'm ready to go to war. And then for a year that I was just still. I am stupid. Fine. Good. Let's move. I'm ugly. Good. Perfect. Let's move. I didn't feel the need to fight I just was not in the space, and that to me is one of my biggest growth points. I cannot even tell you how that has freed up my life. Like the negative emotions and negativity and all that, like that's all gone. And growth has been a good thing. The fifth thing is your circle should pour into you as much as you pour into them. Hey, I can write a book, guys. Like I can write a book. I said earlier that I was a people pleaser. And one of the things that I realized, and one of the lessons that I realized, a lot of times when you do all these things, you're not in essence doing them for the other people, you're doing them for yourself. People who are generous are also the most selfish people there are. And I'll explain. Fact is, you might think that all these things you do for people, but if you're honest, you're doing it for yourself, for self-validation, for self-love, for people to look at you and be clapping, for people to make you tiny little gods in their heads. And I got to a point, I said, no. My circle will be small and will be intentional. And so there are people that I've had to say goodbye to. There are places that I've had to say no to. There are environments that I no longer visit. And I cannot thank myself enough. You cannot be the only one who pours. You cannot run on an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So yeah, my circle has continued to go down. Sixth, therapy is not a luxury, it's necessity. Last year, I didn't complete, I completed therapy, like not those therapy that I've always done, like those that you're not intentional and you're paying 50, 500, 1,000, like not those ones. I invested in therapy, like it was painful every time, every week I would have to do that thing and pay it. But I cannot tell you the amount of freedom that process brought to me. And I cannot even underestimate what therapy does truly mean to me. So therapy is not a luxury. Every time we talk about therapy, people look at you like as if you're those middle class upper people who like no, therapy is important. Go for therapy. Seventh, vulnerability is strength, not weakness. This is also the year that I was the most vulnerable. When I got my son's diagnosis, everything that could go wrong went wrong, seriously wrong. And I got to a point I started asking myself, Kwani, like, what happened? Why have I built so many walls that like no one can access me? Even I could not access my feelings at one point until I got to a point I really just broke down and say like, come, I need help. And part of what triggered that process for me was when I was in therapy and my therapist told me to read Anatomy of Trust. And I went through, I highly recommend, if you're struggling with vulnerability and not being vulnerable and not wanting to show that you're vulnerable, then I would highly recommend the Anatomy of Trust. But strength, vulnerability is strength and it's not a weakness. 8, it is okay to outgrow places, people, and patterns. It is okay to outgrow people. There are people that used to not struggle having conversation with. Like the conversation would come so easy, and you would be perfect, and you would just gone. And right now, like I don't know what to say. Like I sit with them, I don't know what to say anymore. It is okay to outgrow people. It is okay to outgrow patterns. It's okay to outgrow places. There are places I cannot visit anymore. Even if I struggled, I can't. There are some meetings I can't attend anymore. Like I've been called to meetings, so many meetings, and I can't go. Like I just can't, because I don't have the the bandwidth to be in certain places. Like I just don't feel like it's the place that I need to be, and I don't go, and that's it. 9, rest is productive. When I started my year, I shared with a friend of mine about my desire to have rest. For the last 10 years of being in the career space, I have barely rested. There was a time like my suitcase was always packed. I would move from one airport to the next. Like, I was so busy. I was so on the road. It was so crazy. Like, I didn't have time for anything else. And then I gave myself permission to rest last year. And pregnancy, the pregnancy came and I rested a lot. And so, yeah, so I gave myself permission to rest. I think, made one international visit last year to New York. And then I came back, I got pregnant, and I just rested the entire time. Rest, there is something magical about rest. And it even reflects on your skin. Everything about you begins to change. So rest, I would highly recommend. 10, you can't heal in the same environment that broke you. There are places that every time you are in those spaces, you feel every emotion that you felt when whatever happened. It is okay to lift yourself up and to move to the next space. I will not go into depth because there are people involved and they might be watching this video, but I have chosen to not be in certain environments. I have chosen not to be in certain everywhere where there is negativity. And I think last year was a year where people just decided to like call my name randomly in the most stupid places. Like, I'm like, why are you calling my name there? Like, I'm not even there. I don't even understand how you get to start calling my name because I don't even know you. And there are spaces like for example, one of the most toxic places that I know is the Kisumu CSO space. The civil society organizations in Kisumu, like, I think there is something wrong. Unhealthy competition, ignorant people, I don't know what, like, they will just make you a topic out of nothing, and they will just make your topic and move with it. I was like, no. I will choose the places that I go to. I will choose the places that I don't go to. Every place that broke me and with the stupid rumors and things that didn't even make sense, I was unwilling to be a part of them, because if we are, to be honest, we come to this space to be able to make changes and to be able to move it forward, move the needle for women and girls. And no, sideshows and petty talk and people fighting and people wanting space and people wanting to be known and felt, those things don't matter. It doesn't matter to anyone. And so I don't go to certain places. Even if I am called, I turn it down. 11, financial freedom is more about discipline than income. People normally think that your income sort of dictates how your life moves. One of the things that I've realized is there's so many things about financial freedom that has nothing to do with your income. This is the year that one of the things that I really was very particular about is financial freedom. And even though I'm not there yet, I have learned massively about investments. I've learned about businesses. I've learned about creation of businesses, the business plan. Like, the whole thing about wealth creation is something that I really push the needle on. I subscribed to things. I paid for courses. And yeah, I really am at a good place when it comes to financial freedom now than I was in the year previously, and that I really feel is a game changer. It's not about the income. It was also probably one of the years that I didn't earn the most, because like I went through a process of grief, and with that grief I had to turn down some opportunities. But then I realized it is more about how disciplined you are. So one of the things that I really took away from this year is that investment is not that thing you do with the money that is left. Investment is the thing you do before you even pay your rent. So you pay yourself first. So paying yourself first means you first invest. When you get the paycheck, you remove the one for investment first. It is not an afterthought. And it's those disciplines that make or break someone when it comes to finances. 12, a soft life starts with hard choices. Choose your hard. Choose your hard. Being broke is hard. Being rich is hard. Choose your hard. Being Starting a business is hard. Not starting a business and being broke is hard. Choose your hard. I think this is also the other year that like I was really intentional about my hard, and it didn't matter if people didn't understand it. 13. Boundaries are an act of love for yourself and for others. Trust me, every single time, one of the things that I realized, every single time that your boundaries are not clear, even the people around you, that affects them because they're not sure. They're not sure where we stand. They're not sure how far they can go. They're not sure. And people don't like being in an environment where they're not sure. So for me, boundaries have been one of the things that I've gifted myself this year. If I don't feel like it, if like I don't feel like you need to be in my space, you should not just be in my space. And I don't have apologies for that. So boundaries have been a big thing. 14, God will stretch your faith before he fulfills your promise. I have had my faith being stretched. I think this has been that year where I got to a point I didn't know what to do anymore. With Stada, I didn't know what to do anymore with my child, like Fadili. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Like, I was just like at that moment where I only relied on God, but then like I didn't even know what else to do because everything that I knew to do, I had done, but like everything just required me to put more faith. And although I'm still, to some great extent, trusting God for the fulfillment of his promises in certain aspects, I have seen certain aspects really work, and I am very, very grateful. 15, what is meant for you won't miss you, but you have to show up for it. I am a firm believer that like I don't have to struggle. Like, I am one of those people, like, I don't even struggle for attention. Like, you don't even have to notice me. Like, I don't struggle. I don't struggle for people to see me. I don't struggle for people to recognize what I'm doing. I don't struggle for me to be at the top of my voice shouting about, here I am doing all this. But I can tell you for a fact, a lot of work has been put in. And so one of the things that I have learned is, a lot of times when you envy someone's results, I always challenge people, are you willing to put in the same work that those people have put in? Because what is meant for you won't miss you if you put in the work. Let no one lie to you that success is an overnight thing, that you will wake up and all of a sudden you'll be in some yacht, living life and just living your best life. That happens in movies. It doesn't happen in real life. So what God has meant for you is for you. That is not in doubt. But you have to put in some work. And this was my year of putting in extra work. In the times that I could, and in the times that I couldn't, I would be at peace with the fact that the work that I've put in over the years will work for me. 16, healing is messy, but it's worth it. There are times I think one of the areas in my life that I really felt that I was very comfortable with my illness. I don't know even whether to go there, but like let me just say, healing is messy, and I'm glad that I have begun my processes in certain aspects of my life, and I hope that it will be worth it. 17, confidence isn't loud, it's steady. Confidence and influence. I think my bio on WhatsApp is influence is not loud. Confidence is also not loud. You walk into a room and you exude confidence. And that is one of the things that I have learned to be able to leave as an imprint in my life. And I've learned to see it as well. It is not the loudest person. It is not the person who tries to prove the point the most. It is not. Confidence is very subtle. 18. Being a woman of faith doesn't mean you can't be fierce. A lot of times I've had people look at me and say like, and she's all this and she's all that and she's a pastor's wife. Yes, I am. but you better come correct, because I would not allow nonsense around me just because I am a woman of faith. So one of the things that I've learned is to be comfortable in my faith, that I am a woman of faith. I can pray a building down, but when business is supposed to be done, business will be done. So I am fierce and I am full of faith, and I make no apologies for that. The 19th thing, I think we're in 19. Quiet seasons are preparation, not punishment. I went through the most quiet season of my life. And I think that season has truly prepared me for the next season of my life. Something in my gut tells me like it was not a punishment, and that I am yet to launch into the most glorious season of my life, and I can't wait for it. I truly believe that my year 35 is truly my year, and I'll come back here next year to come and testify about it. But throughout my quiet season, God began to drop things in my spirit that I know I could never have had if I was in a loud environment. If I was in a fast environment, I could never have had it. And so I'm so grateful, so grateful of my season and what it has taught me. The 20th, beauty deepens with self-awareness. Self-awareness is beautiful. When you're aware of yourself, you're aware of your boundaries, you're aware of how far you can go and how far you can't go. If you're aware of who you are and who you're not, it enhances your beauty. Not being self-aware is ugly. You will begin to fall for narratives that are not yours, and you will begin to make yourself a target for everyone who wants to target you. This year has been the year that I have had my sessions of self-awareness the most, and I truly can say I know who I am and who I'm not. And I can also truly say that I'm not triggered by people's opinion. I used to say I'm not triggered by people's opinion, but I think it was lip service. This has really been the year that you can wake up and say anything under the sun, and I will move on like you didn't say anything. Self-awareness is beautiful. The next one is you don't have to hustle for your self-worth. If you have to struggle for it, and if you have to be so loud about it, no, it's not worth it. 22nd, your purpose will disturb your comfort. You cannot live in purpose and still be comfortable. Purpose will come along with pain. Purpose and pain, twins. You can never truly get to your purpose if you don't step out of your comfort zone. So stepping out of your comfort zone is one of the ways that you fulfill purpose. The 23rd thing I've learned about me is social media. Social media is such a lie. Social media is such a facade. People show you what they want you to see. In the background, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know you don't know anything. And so I have truly gotten to a point that I have realized that there is something about social media that can lie to you that everyone else's life is perfect. Because I've seen people go through a lot. Like when I was going through my season, it didn't look like it on my social media. And maybe someone bought the highlight. But it's never truly only about the highlight. There's a lot. So don't compare. 24th, being chosen by a wrong person is not a compliment. There are people who just want to be chosen. Pick-me's. You want to be picked. There are times that you're picked and you're picked by the wrong person. It's not a compliment. Don't be happy just because you got picked. 25th, God answers prayers with people. Choose wisely. This has been the year that I've learned that inherently people are so good. I've also learned that you need people. You need people. When you get to the point where you cannot do some of the things yourself, It's the people that come through for you that will really make a difference. So you need people. Treat people well. God doesn't come and can answer your things personally. When the Israelites needed deliverance, God sent Moses. God did not come himself. God has this habit of sending people. And so maybe the reason your prayers have not been answered is because you keep on discarding people as if they don't matter. People matter. God uses people to answer our prayers. The way you talk to yourself matters. Let that sink in. Very self-explanatory. I have had a practice this year of affirming myself every morning. I have a personal creed that I get to talk. I talk to myself. I reassure myself. So when the world doesn't reassure me, best believe I woke up and reassured myself before you started throwing stones. And so your stones don't matter. I know who I am. 27th, obedience often requires courage. You cannot be obedient minus courage. And I've learned to have some courage this year. 28, celebrate your small wins. There are steps into big victories. This has been the year that I built. We built our retirement home, and for me, that was a dream. That house is barely finished. It doesn't have a floor. It doesn't have a lot of things. It's not complete, but like for me, that is my biggest win of my 34th year. 29, clarity comes from action and not overthinking. One of the things that I did, which I really did this year, was overthink about things. Until I got myself to a point I was like, no, I can't be overthinking, because it doesn't matter how much I overthink. What I have not done will not happen just because I overthought about it. Like, I need to pull in some action. And so action was a big driver of my clarity process this year. 30, it is okay to be both graceful and assertive. I want that to sink in, especially for the ladies. For me, I always struggled because I'm one of those people everyone tells me when I get into the room I'm very intimidating. I don't know what. This Saturday I was having a conversation with my colleagues at work, and I was like, what about me? Is it that like when I get into a place, people think like I am, people get scared for some reason. Either like it's your eyes, it's how you walk, it's how you talk, it's how all these things. And I'm like, right now we are talking. One of the things people do say a lot is that I raise my voice when I am not at my best. And I'm like, I've never had to not raise my voice. Like right now I'm not even in an altercation with anyone, but I'm still just raising my voice. Like that is how we talk. That is how I was raised. I was raised to be loud. I am really loud. And one of the things that happens when you're a woman and you're loud, it's never assertiveness. For men, they can call it assertive. For you, you're rude. You're condescending. You're all these things. And one of the things that I've learned this year, that I can both be graceful and assertive. It doesn't matter what you think. When push comes to shove, we will definitely have to square it out. And so I've given myself the grace to be both graceful and assertive at the same time. And my assertive side is not going anywhere any soon. 31, your story is your superpower. That has been my mantra for a long time, but I think for me, this year, it was very clear that my story is all I have. I'm one of those people that I don't think there's something big that I've ever gone through in life that I haven't shared. I do share, one, because I believe that it extends grace to the other people when you share your story. You give them some sense of comfort, some sense of belonging. You encourage them. But beyond that, it's a process of healing for me as well. When I talk about it, I feel there's something about the story that doesn't become like such a big thing as it was. So my stories are my superpower. Like, my story as a person is my superpower. And so I have been sharing. I took a long time before I shared my son's diagnosis, but I always knew I would share. And once I shared it, like, the overwhelming amount of support, but also the